So stay tuned as to why I think I photographed an Ent. And for those that aren't familiar with Ents, check out Lord of the Rings. And if you haven't checked out Lord of the Rings yet, you can do that after you watch this video. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today. I very much appreciate it. Today we are back at this secret woodland location. I was here earlier in the year doing a location scouting, and I'll link to that video up in here as well as in the description below. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you watch it. Right now it is mid-October, so that means we're in fall colors season, and that's why I'm out here today. And that's also why I was out here early in the year doing a little location scouting to see if this area had potential. Now it's actually a beautiful fall afternoon. I'm here early afternoon. So we have sun coming in and out due to the clouds. So that means certain scenes will come and go as I go along this hike, which I'm okay with because I actually have an objective in mind. Now that objective is actually this tree here that I did photograph during that location scouting mission. Now the funny thing is, this isn't my first attempt to get back there this year. I was actually here about a week ago trying to reach that same tree. Now on that particular day, I got here a little later in the day, and actually, although it's windy today, it was much windier a week ago on the day I was here. So let's roll the clip from that adventure. Oh, must admit, a little upset with myself here at the moment. Somewhere that away is this tree that I shot last time. Now you go, well, Matt, why are you a little upset here? Well, quite simply, I didn't leave myself enough time. So I have to make the decision to turn around and go back. Now, what's going to be challenging about this is I've only ever done the loop in the one direction. Sorry, not the band, just the direction of the path, the trail. So I'm actually going to backtrack now, which actually isn't totally a bad thing. I do enjoy a there and a back again trail because it gives you the opportunity to see things that you may have missed because you're obviously looking in one direction. Once again, not the band. As I mentioned, I didn't reach the tree. So today's objective is to try to find that tree. And I've gotten here earlier in the day, well, it's still in the afternoon, but earlier in the afternoon, to try to reach that particular tree. So that's the objective I have in mind. Now, what I need to remember is I may not reach that tree, and here's why. Similar to when I was out last time, a week ago, I do not intend to hike this entire trail. It is a loop trail. It would take 4 to 5 hours just hiking it, so likely 6 stopping for photography, and I don't have time before the sun sets. And as well, most of the locations I was interested in shooting were on the first part of the trail. But it appears, as mentioned, that tree is more than 3 kilometers in, but I'm okay with doing a little further today. But I need to remember, I may not find that tree, even though it's along the trail. So I'm going to keep my eye open for other compositions and other subjects to shoot. So let's keep going. Now, you may have noticed I'm actually, on this particular outing, carrying a hiking pole. And that is simply because this is a very challenging trail with a lot of elevation changes, and there are no built-in staircases or man-made staircases. So, especially at this time of year when there's leaves that are also slippery at times, having this to put some weight on to make sure I can go up or down a particular section with relative safety, especially when carrying photo backpack. Extremely helpful. So great tip there. Depending on what type of trip you are on, you want to make sure you've got the right accessories. In this case, a standard hiking pole is extremely beneficial. When I was here last time, about a week ago, trying to capture some fall colors, I came upon this scene here.
All this chaos of woodland.
This scene, the light just started shining in on these beautiful leaves.
And try to move fast.
And I knew the light would be fleeting, so I just grabbed my camera. I didn't pull up my tripod, and I tried to use the settings to quickly capture some photos. Now, a little too rushed. None of the images I took I really like, but this is some parts of, so this happens in photography. Sometimes the light will light up a composition and give you a subject, but if you're not ready for it, or just happen to be unlucky of how long that light lasts, it might not work out for you. But it's always good to keep an eye open for compositions, which leads me into this. Came across this scene while flying the drone, so I'm gonna work quick. Gonna get out my long lens and try to shoot that while we got some nice side light. So I have my long lens, the Sony 100-400 set up here on my tripod, portrait orientation, and I have my circular polarizer on, and this is gonna be a 2-shot, basically focus stack and slash time blending. So I did f8 on the trees, they're in the distance, but there's these kind of like lily pads that I'm catching in the frame. They are lily pads, although I didn't really notice that until I looked at them here versus the viewfinder. So I focused on that, but I also put on a 6-stop neutral density filter to help smooth out some of that water. So focus on the lily pads in the foreground, and then focus on the trees in the background, and don't need to really worry about the water. I smoothed that out with a 6-second exposure using the 6-stop neutral density filter from Leaf Filters. So where I'm shooting, it's actually quite boggy. Like I'm on what I would not consider very solid ground. So when I take a shot, I'm doing 2 things. I have set it for and it's in the opposite direction, or 90 degrees, but a 5-second timer to help reduce the possibility of camera shake, and then hold my breath and not move for those 6 seconds or however long that shutter is actually open for. But man, what a beautiful, peaceful area. Now, I would not have necessarily come down here unless I got the drone up and then I saw these trees being side lit in the frame here. So I've just wrapped up shooting here by the lake, and now I've got to work my way back across this, well, let's call it a soft area. And I'm also glad I have my hiking pole, which makes it easier to find and ensure there's solid ground underneath my feet. So we still have the objective of finding that tree, if you recall, this tree. So we're heading in that direction now. But before we hit there, we're going to talk about another subject that I tried to shoot on my last time here last week that didn't quite work out, but I want to remedy on this trip. Let's get there now. And it was this scene about a week ago that I passed trying to find that tree. But on the way back, I did stop and shoot, but the light was fleeting. I didn't pull up my tripod, and I didn't use the right depth of field, so I didn't walk away with images I really enjoyed. So we're going to remedy that right now. We're going to take about 10 minutes. Won't take too long. The scene is quite simple, so let's get set up. So the shot I have set up here is actually an abstract shot. I have this dead slash dying moss, pretty much center, top third of the frame. But we got all the other beautiful green moss and the textures on the side here. So you can see the texture over here and the texture over there. Now the only thing I'm kind of waiting for, I'm at f11, ISO 800, currently at 0.4 of a second. So I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to put a little exposure compensation there. Minus 2/3 or minus 0.7 of a exposure compensation. Focused in. And just going to wait for that breeze to die down. And there we go. So I'm going to take a few more shots, slightly different compositions, and I will post my favorite one. I swear to you, I photographed an ant. That tree I photographed was definitely an ant. So I'm 4 kilometers in on this hike. There's about an hour, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, 20 minutes of sunlight left. So I'm gonna have to turn around. I'm now turned around, hiking back 4 kilometers in-ish, with an hour and 20-ish minutes of light left. Maybe a bit more, but this loop trail that I'm on is 10 or 12 kilometers, and I'm at most 4 kilometers in. So definitely time to turn around while I have daylight. And who knows, maybe I've actually passed that tree, and I'll see it on the way back. Stay tuned. I am close to the start of the trail. I'm about 1 kilometer in, and I'm setting up to shoot this backlit tree here. And as you can see, the sun is about to set behind the hill in the background. So time is fleeting. And here is that photo right now. I had taken a quick snapshot to test out this, but by the time I ran up, took the other shot, came back down, the sun and the light that was kind of adding some mood and some dimension to this composition is now gone. Well, I had an amazing time, even though I'm quite honestly certain that there's an ant in these woods, and I was unable to track down that tree I was looking for. So thank you so much for watching. I had a great time today. I think I got some nice photos. I'll see when I get back to the editing suite. More importantly, I had a great time. This is a great area. A lot of fresh air. It's fall. It's a beautiful time of year. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we wake, bye for now. Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side, our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight.